Okay, it's starting to gather viewers. I figured I'd start off so they can see what your speaker page looks like, and we can whip through that a little bit.
Sure.
So they know what's going on. Okay, guys, so we are live on Facebook live streaming. We are live on Zoom with Jenna Smith today. Guys, we are part of the Tele Art Gathering, and she did an interview, and we want to make sure that you get all your questions answered. So I'm on her speaker page right now, which I love to have little recipe cards. So, you know, I'm going to make it up for my live streamers. They're used to taking screenshots. But for those of you that are on Zoom or watching the replay, it's really simple to get to her page. It's teleartgathering.com/Jenna. That's all you got to do to pop that in there, Jenna. It'll take you to her speaker page, and then you can go get her gift. And you can go take a look at her special offer to work with her and find out why she's a red-tailed hawk. If you missed it, the replay is up. You can just go right here and watch it. It's also an audio, and just all the information you need there about what her students and clients are saying. And you can always contact her on the Facebook page, because that's what I'm trying to train everyone to do, is go to Tele Art Gathering on the Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/Tele Art Gathering. You can go to her event. You can find her speaker page there. But let's jump on over, stop the screen share, and that's Jenna. Hey, Jenna girl. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself in case you guys missed her interview. And I'm going to pop off the screen so I can make my little signs up for my little live stream Facebookers for your links.
Yay. All right. So if you guys didn't see the recording, I was in New York. So if you want to check that out, it's kind of funny. I'm navigating being in the Javits Center in New York that weekend, the same weekend as the Women's March, and there was a big event that Mama Gina put on, so it was fun. So fundamentally, what I'm contributing to the Telearch is an angle of spirituality that's more integrated. I'm a trained psychotherapist, and I also learned a type of coaching called ontological, which is far deeper than just, you know, managing your habits. It's about your relationship to life, and so it helps you create your life in alignment with your true essence. And everyone knows what that is. Sometimes they just need help, and I'm that helper. So on top of that, I do shamanic intuitive healing work and guidance. And that all coalesces together again for this integration, which is something I notice is missing for people. They either do personal development or they go deep into spirituality, and then they're like, okay, how do I be at work and then I get to be myself at this weekend? So how can you integrate those two worlds and just be yourself in the world? And that's really what I like to talk about. And the program I created that we're talking about today is called You Are the Manual. Because another problem I see is people seeking for this, you know, special supplement or special meditation or something out there, whether it's a speaker like myself, that maybe I have your special tool. And yes, there are things that help bring you ease from suffering, or you read something and it helps give your mind a little morsel that helps you make sense of a situation in your life. But ultimately, we want to get to a new way of being, that's just who you are now, that you aren't having to use your willpower to get over your mind, or use your willpower to not feel whether it's sad or not be too big. That there's this real flow and natural ability about yourself to just be who you are in the world, as opposed to like having it be so hard, thinking about what you need to do all the time. What's that person thinking about me? Oh, should I go to this workshop or this workshop? And if I don't, I'm going to miss something out. And that's the noise a lot of people are suffering from right now. So You Are the Manual was designed to integrate your mind, body, heart, and spirit so that it's more in alignment with the day-to-day living. You often will have parents and they have kids and they have legitimate responsibilities. You have to go to a job to make money. So if you don't have time to meditate for an hour, what can you do? And if you do have an hour, what is for you, as opposed to what Oprah says or some other person? Like, what's in alignment with you, and the spirit section of the Year of the Manual does that specifically. So, Brenny, are we gonna do interview, or did you want me to just kind of chat about?
Well, when people pop on, then I'll put them over there. That's why
Yeah, great.
I haven't seen people posting questions. I can see they're live. Some people just are shy, and some people just stay on Facebook, and it's the way it is. One thing I like that you were talking about is, like, yesterday I had a session with someone. It was really about, I remember her saying, it's just about you, Brenny. What makes you happy? If you clear out this big containment field, what makes you happy? And these thoughts would creep in, somebody, like, not getting along with my sister right now. And it's like, stop. Do I want to fill my empty vessel up with that? And when I really took a step back and looked at it, it's like the thoughts you think all the time of, well, I should do that. Christy, thanks for joining in. My students start popping in. I'm the singing, coach. I guess that's just what I do. Hey, Christy, if you have any questions at all, you can type them right there. All of you that are watching the live stream, please share this out. Somebody may want this information. And if you want any questions answered, you can type them in there. You don't have to get on the live stream. If you guys do want some one-on-one and be able to talk with Jenna like this, I highly recommend you take advantage of that. You can pop on the Zoom link. So the favorite thing we love to do. So there you go for all the live streamers, facebook.com/Tele Art Gathering. You go under events and you will see her event, and the Zoom link is there. If you want to just message it in there in the live stream box, we'll do that too. So I like also when we were talking before, I remember you just made it like so simple. And like you were saying, everybody makes it so complicated. It's like, what color am I supposed to remember? Hold my breath for how long? Breathe in where? And they're so stressed out. I'm like, I just was taught about energy from my master, and the last thing you do is put fear into people. Like, no one wants to hear to go declutter, but you got to declutter people. But it doesn't come from a place of fear. So that's one thing I really like about how you teach.
Well, one thing about, let's say, decluttering. What happens when people start to get on board with some of these principles of I call it Year of the Manual, but it's really just, I took pieces from all over the place, and I took things that I intuited myself from working with hundreds of people that I saw was getting them, I see images in my head, like kind of like there's little latches that start getting in the way of the flow of something. So what a lot of that was that they only think from their head, their cognitive left brain, and they think they are their thoughts. And Eckhart Tolle was really kind of a big deal as far as talking about the power of now. And what that was that you aren't your thoughts, and that there's a space of existence beyond thoughts. And so what you're saying about clutter, a lot of people, it could be inside out or outside in. So you could reorganize a room and then feel the difference, or you could sort of access that place of being and then be like just absolutely drawn to change this over here, throw this out, I got to go in that drawer, as opposed to forcing, which is a masculine way of things, not men based. Just masculine energy is the doing and the go and the push through it, and the feminine is more again, not just women and men both have this energy, is the intuitive, the knowing, the receiving, and the being. And those work together really well in the world. So sometimes it isn't good to go force yourself to declutter, because you are just repeating that pattern of things having to be hard and having to struggle and imposing things on yourself. And what I like to do is have that balance between the two, is that you do some action, and that creates a different opportunity for your life, and then notice what happens inside, and you kind of dance with, I'm going to make this external change, and what did that create within me, and now I have these things to deal with, as opposed to just always doing and only doing that method. Because a lot of people burn out and they think they're doing it wrong, and it just feeds more of their unworthiness, as far as it didn't work, so this means I don't work. It means I'm doomed to feel this way for the rest of my life. And a lot of people are feeling that way in the self-help world, like, it's not working for me, so that must mean I'm wrong. And maybe they're not thinking that deeply about it, but it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that you're just you're only in one aspect of who you are. You're only in your thinking head. And there's only so much possible from your cognitive left brain. So is there any questions anybody has about that? Because I could kind of.
Hey guys, hey Christy, hey Tony, you guys got any questions you want me to pop in? Guys, don't be shy. Like I said, I take advantage of, that's how half of my knowledge I've got is showing up on live streams and asking questions. It really is. And then they get to know you and then it's like, oh, there she is again. Well, she's interested. I'll call on her. I like how the inside and the outside work together myself, because I know when you change the outside, it impacts the inside. But I always know when a big change is coming on the outside by how my inside has things going on. Like, okay, the universe is always so cute. I've had this big boat anchor of a TV my nephew left here, and it's like, I hardly watch TV at all. It's an old like JVC with the big old tubes in it. Must weigh 500 pounds. And it's like, it went out during the Super Bowl. I was at my mom and dad's house. I go, I'll watch the last 5 minutes at home. So if you're in America, you know you want to know the ending of the Super Bowl. And I come home and it's dead. And I'm like, oh. And I looked at that area and it was like I just worked with a healer and I had just done an interview on feng shui and the year of the rooster and what area you needed to declutter. It was that area. And I can tell you, so my inside goes crazy. It's like, well, I want to clear all this area and change the paint color. And I really looked at, I do this all the time for a living. What do I really love and what attachments do I have to it? So people I'm cutting out of my life, I'm noticing where they were showing up all around my environment, where before I really liked it. And now it's like, oh, I see how I just kind of saw like a tangled web of energy. And when you clear that out, it was clearing my inside brain thoughts out because I wasn't thinking about it when I looked at it all the time.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people will think I should do this and they don't even connect to their self. And then they just kind of do things and then there's no congruency between themselves and their actions. And that's really what to look for, is what your story shows is that
hey, Allie.
This happened. You had the session and then you looked over and then you did the live stream and then it talked about that area and then you looked at that area and that's exactly where you wanted to clear it. Like those are all signs of that being right for you, right? It kept showing up. It felt like, oh, I have to do this as opposed to, or like I need to from within as opposed to have to, you know, that's the energy that is good. And like it's not overdoing.
It was exciting actually because it's a heaven trigram, and that means like all your helpers coming in the creativity area, which is a big area for this year where you want to sit and really call in using your helpful people, call in your creativity so you can really design your life the way you want. People think it's selfish, but it's really about you. The more you like you, and fill up your vessel with things that make you happy, that shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff, it's just dragging you down. It really is. That's what I like about you. Make it just simple. It seems to me feng shui is common sense. When I talk to you, it's like, well, yeah, that's just common sense. Kind of like if you hang out with people that are complaining and negative, then that's what you're going to get. I unfollowed a lot of people and see no streams I don't want to see on Facebook anymore and shifted my energy instantly. It's like, why do I have to go and play music and do all these tools? What is that thread that's really upsetting me? And I'm like, oh, okay. Got rid of that clutter of that person I no longer am communicating with. And guys, really look around, because when your inside keeps telling you the same thing, like I wonder if I should cut that person from my life. And then like, a glass falls over and they gave it to you, or their picture falls off the wall. It's kind of like, I think we're not in the now right now is what I've noticed the most about people. They don't read, emails. They don't listen to what people have to say. They ask the question right after you explained it. How can we get people more in the now? Because they just seem to be all over the place in overwhelm.
I think the first step isn't imposing stuff on them, because there's already so much going on. And so by the time someone usually finds me, they've done a lot of workshops, they've done therapy. Sometimes complete newbies kind of find me and are like, this sounds good. That's maybe 2%. But for the most part, there are people that have been doing a lot of this stuff and then they're just so tired and overwhelmed, and they're like, I just need it to be simple. And you said, like, it's making it simple. The first thing is like, it's okay. This is sort of a global crisis for humanity, as far as, well, more particularly North American culture, Western culture, of this like frantic, I need to be somewhere, and that like fear of missing out is, and just like, I find the biggest things, the first step would be like, it's okay. It's not just you feeling this way. And then from there, that relief of, there's nothing wrong with you feeling frazzled. There's nothing wrong with you feeling overwhelmed. You should feel overwhelmed because of the amount of things you have going on, with the lack of resources to actually deal with them. Those resources are things like, why does journaling work? We spoke about journaling before, how it comes through your mind down into your body, forces you to slow down. Then you pay attention to what you're writing, and that whole entire process is a technology for people to digest what's going on, but also use the mind, the cognitive mind, so that you're not sitting there pretending to meditate when actually you're doing your grocery list and actually you're replaying the argument you had last week. And that's part of the clearing. So I think a big thing is giving people permission to feel how they're feeling, and that that's okay, and that it's a natural reaction to what most people are experiencing right now. Most people are freaked out. The Trump thing, and there's so much going on in people's lives that they don't want to sit and be still, because it's so overwhelming to really look at their credit card bill, or maybe their child is having problems at school. And like, if we don't have those inner resources, that's why I try to tell people it's okay to calm down, because we were never taught these inner resources. We have emotions, we have a human body, but we weren't actually taught really how they work. And that's my job now, I see, is to teach people this. I've spent 17 years learning this, because I thought, this doesn't make sense. Like, why are we supposed to do this, this, and this at school? And I questioned things as a little girl. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, some part of me knew something was off. And now I know it's because we have feelings in our body that are indicators. And so the first step of not being overwhelmed, I think, is definitely that permission, like, you're okay. And then moving into how to clear, like things like journaling, or talking to a therapist, or talking to a healer, or talking to a trusted friend. So like getting the stuff out, and then you can just start to listen more. But that process of getting still is so confronting, because we didn't have the resources. So you kind of, that's a time where you kind of have to start doing the thing, whether it's a coloring book, even to create space. A lot of people are using coloring books now, whether it's a yoga practice, because at least you're doing something at the end when there's space, taking advantage of that space and just feeling out what's overwhelming me right now, and learning to ask yourself questions. That's another tool, is what's really bothering me right now. And it's just like you're having a conversation, and it's you, and you say, if your partner came home and they looked grumpy and they're like kicking stuff around, you're like, oh, what's bothering you? It's the same thing. If you're grumpy and irritated and overeating, undereating, and you can tell, like, if you had a child or a partner you love, you could notice things when they're grumpy, and to just check in. It's not complicated. It's just like, hey, what's going on there? Oh, I was really upset when I opened that bill this morning, or I need to talk to this person, and I'm afraid to talk to this person. And so we just don't stop and talk to ourselves enough. And then it kind of builds and builds and builds and creates overwhelm. But I think most people need to learn that it's not your fault. This isn't you. It's a societal issue. It's something that's...
Hey, Maria Soto. Hey, L'Oreal Moss. Now they're popping on. Hey, L'Oreal, you love to take advantage of experts. You guys got any questions right now? Yeah, I like talking about the brain dump, because that's what one of my keys is, because I have a lot going on. I'm a do several projects and things all at once. Maria, they're saying hello. And so I have found it doesn't matter. I just write whatever pops in my head. And instead of, I used to have it perfect. It's like, okay, write the topic. What's a subtopic? What's the action plan? And then I'm like, the junk is still in there. This is like, you can tell when I'm really flowing is my whiteboards are full. It's just like, get it out, get it out. And then I can erase it and it's all gone.
Yeah.
Hey, Maria, what's going on? You guys asked some questions about my expert here.
Well, if they just came on, I'll give them some ideas about stuff that they might want to ask about, because if they just came on, they wouldn't have any context about what we were talking about. So I particularly deal with empaths sometimes, and how to feel emotions and process emotions. Dealing with overwhelm is from the mind. So maybe if you have some questions about how to settle your mind, or maybe you're not sleeping well, those are some things that happen with people. I deal with communication issues too. So I'm a human behavior specialist, if you will. I can tell when people are communicating and they're not quite communicating, and what's that about, and how to get better at that. So those are some things people could ask about. Spirituality, kind of like what's what, like guides or spirit guides. I'm a shaman, so like if there's any questions about shamanism or indigenous healing stuff. So if there's people that have just come on, I thought instead of like ask a question, I figure these are some things you could ask. If any of them.
I know several of them. There's Stuart. Stuart, yours pop on. Thank you. So what if you're a mother and you just had a new baby, you got 3 kids, and you have a big dream, and she gets on these calls and the experts are, guiding her that, yes, you're right on the money. You've got a big purpose here in this life. How do you handle not going into fear about where am I going to get the money to feed my kid, but still continue on my project?
What's the project?
Her project is working with Black women, African American women, and their daughters because of the role that they've played, and to let these girls have self-esteem and stand in their purpose, and not be the, like if you, from America's standpoint, and we all understand this a whole lot, that Black mothers take on many, many roles and wear many, many hats. And that the little girls, if you've been watching Facebook live streaming, the videos that you see it's like there's a little Black girls and they say, which is a good doll? And it's the white doll. Which is the bad doll? The Black doll. Which is the pretty doll? The white doll. And it's like where they're coming from. Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, I'm more of an empath than I thought. I picked up on lots of energies and emotions that aren't mine, and I'd like to know how to deal with them, especially with soul ties. I'm noticing a lot of energy and attitudes that aren't mine coming from me. So that's L'Oreal, and she's the one I'm telling you that she just started showing up, and she does have a huge purpose. And by the way, she's a new mom. She just had a baby a few days ago. So that tells you she wants to grow and wants advice. And she's coming out of her shell, and I'm so proud of you. So there you I'll can communicate less. L'Oreal, if you want to pop on Zoom, you're great at popping on Zoom, and if you don't want your camera on, that's cool too.
Yeah, actually, L'Oreal, I mean, it's like 150 an hour, so you'd be getting.
That's why it's like I'm like posting, guys, I don't understand why I don't show up for the free stuff, because that is how I got a ton of my education. It's like, of course, I trained that as a child. It's like, why? Well, yeah, go on over to Zoom right now. Pop on. We'll wait for you.
Pop on. So, I'll just tell you something about women that's really interesting is in Harvard Business School, a big part of their grade is participation in class. And the men are just putting up their hands and like, no, I know, like very aggressive, very like, I know, like confident, right? And the women are actually falling back because they aren't taking their space. They aren't putting up their hands. They aren't being seen. And so they actually have hand putting upper coaches. Like,
oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Wow.
That was crazy. But not actually, when I think about it, I kind of gregariously developed this thing where I'm like, I get to be here, and that's that. Like, so.
And I'm in the front row. I paid for my college education. I'm in the front row with my hand up. I want the answer. She's going to pop on over in a second, turning on her computer.
Great. So, I thought I would mention that because this whole concept of women and taking up space, and, when she said, there's two questions there. There's the second one was about being an empath. And the first one was about how to navigate the fears around how, right? Like the money, I'm a new mom. Is that correct? Did I hear that right?
Well, yeah, I know her, and I know she's been showing up for all these live streams. So that's where she's going in these calls. She's been, she wants to get in programs, but how does she figure out how to keep following people and do this big purpose? And, new moms, I'm sure there might be a doctor bill or two in there. In America, it's not cheap. So,
I'm just writing it down because
so I know where she's coming from, but she has a big heart and a big purpose and wants to help these, this energy of mothers and daughters, and then having self-esteem and getting out there. And that's in alignment exactly with what you're talking about, because you're talking about standing in your power and stop listening to what other people are saying.
And there's more fine tuning around that. Let me just talk to the listeners. Oh, she's on here.
Yay! Okay, I'll unmute her first. Do you want me to put your camera on or not? L'Oreal.
No.
She's a shy one, but that's okay. She's a beautiful lady. So I'm going to step out of here, and you guys can take it away. And L'Oreal, this is why you're going to be successful, because you show up and you take action. You are a very smart young lady, because Jenna's a smart cookie. Okay, I'm out of here. You two take it away.
Thank you.
Okay, hi L'Oreal.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you came on.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I've been getting so much from these calls. I can't get enough of them, and I'm really feeling the shift in my mindset and the shift in my energy. And Brittany and everyone that I've spoken with has been super supportive, and so the outpour of love and support is amazing. So it's not a problem for me to get on at all. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you today.
Great. Well, I do know a lot about these topics, so this is good. Which question do you want me to start with? You had
whichever one you feel led to start with is fine.
Okay. So what I have here is fear around the details, fear around the money part.
Yeah, I'm a serial planner, and so kind of worrying about the how. It's what I do. It's what I do in my business. And, for the first time in my whole life, I don't have the answers. I'm not able to put the plan together in a way that's comfortable for me.
Tangible.
But I know it means something.
Right, you garbage, bro. I told you the first
There's
time.
this real balance between tangible and intangible as far as when you're creating.
Garbage ass off the
Sorry, my husband is like talking to somebody on the PlayStation. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So what happens is when you have something that you're going to create that's new, is you're not going to see it, and you actually don't want it to be like it always has, because you're creating something new.
Okay.
So that's something to think about. Is I'm a professional singer, and so when I would be like totally confused and not knowing what's happening, my teacher's like, fantastic, you're confused because you're creating something new. So
Okay.
You should have some natural fear that comes with any change, and that's just natural. It's the irrational fear. It's the reaction to things that haven't happened yet that you got to watch. Like,
okay.
If I lose all my money, okay, well, don't have an emotional reaction as if you've lost all your money. That's just messy and uncomfortable. But embracing some fear is part of that powerful stepping into something new. It's like, oh, okay, hey, fear. Yep, of course you're here because I'm doing something new. I'm on my growth edge. I'm going to feel fear. So some part of doing something that scares you involves creating a new relationship with healthy fear, and then watching when you have the really irrational fear, and you can feel the difference. The irrational fear is like on a record playing, like overplaying. Like that's irrational fear. It never goes away. It's like all encompassing. But that kind of natural fear is like, ooh, well, I'm a little, I don't want to, and it's not so encompassing. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Do you see that happen in your life? Like, how do you relate to fear? How does it show up for you?
Um, what you said makes sense. I understand that there's going to be an element of fear when I try something new. I have gotten a lot better at, welcoming it and sitting with it and acknowledging that it's there because I'm moving in a different direction.
Great.
But, my mind does get away from me at times with the irrational, like the what ifs. I
Okay.
do get worried about that because I'm so used to having things go a certain way. And so when I don't have that, when there's that element that I don't have control over a situation, it makes me really nervous. It freaks me out.
Yeah. Okay. How much do you trust? Do you have a spiritual belief?
Yes, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That's why this is so funny to me, because every situation that I'm being put in is like, well, you have to have faith and you have to trust that it's all working out. And I'm stubborn. So
Okay, because I'm like the one who goes a little deeper and like there's like have faith, but I'm like all about what's in between you and that trust. What's the block? So it's really quite practical to not believe in God, because in most people's darkest times no one was there.
mm-hmm.
How would you trust anything? Because you're like, well, you weren't there. Like, no one was helping me. So I find on my own journey, I was kind of like, God's dumb. I mean, all of this stuff has happened and I don't see any reason, and this is why, because our mind can only see such limited perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nope, that doesn't make sense. There isn't somebody protecting me. There isn't someone who has my back. That doesn't make sense. And so faith is the act of kind of like, well, if it could go this way where I don't trust life and I don't trust God, okay, it could go this way. And then I kind of have to always be on and always be thinking and always like, never really quite leaning in and leaning back with life.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Mm-hmm.
exhausting, right? Like you have to keep it all
Yes.
together. Like my kind of thing was, well, that just feels better. Like
Mm-hmm.
nothing is keeping me from flying off the face of the earth while it's spinning around in the universe. Okay. So for me, my biggest breakthrough was in rehabilitating that relationship to the sense of God and acknowledging where I was really pissed off. Like I would almost write an FU letter to God as if like it was an ex-boyfriend, and just give her and get rid of all of the junk. And that's like a brain dump. And it's not sacrilegious. It's not even disrespectful. It's like a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that this is just a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum. So you don't even think anything of it. You're just like, oh, you're upset. And then they get it out of their system and then they're fine. We have to let ourselves do that. And I feel like that will serve you well, because this is a time in your life where trust in life and trust in yourself is going to be a big theme.
Okay.
And so that looks at getting out where you have felt abandoned, where you have felt let down by life.
Okay.
And sort of resolving it is like, okay, that happened. And then when you get it all out, what's interesting is that you should notice an emotional release. And those emotions have been stuck in your system for long. They're the ones kind of keeping you from trusting.
Okay.
So hopefully, that's kind of sometimes hard to do on your own, but it's definitely one of the most powerful exercises for clearing and renegotiating a relationship to trust and creating space. The one about what about to do with money, I really felt like working on your worthiness was the thing. Like that was intuitively what I came up with. If you want to work with moms and girls, that's a big part of this like big goal, is that's going to be such a transformational experience for you to be that self-esteem energy, to be that worthiness, that I'm assuming that's what you kind of want to work with them.
Yes. Self-worth and confidence, helping them to see how powerful they are as women, breaking out of traditional gender roles,
Yeah.
things like that.
And what do you see, like schools, workshops?
Workshops. The first idea when I was given this vision, the first thing that popped into my head was like a summer camp for moms and daughters.
Oh, cute. Oh, that's great. Okay.
hmm
And what's the age range? I'm just gonna kind of want to like walk down that road with you.
Well, they're gonna be kind of different groups, and I would like to start as young as 7 or 8.
Yeah. That's
Because I noticed I started seeing life differently at such a young age.
Yeah.
And I believe people underestimate how smart kids are.
yeah.
And how quickly they pick up on relationships and things like that. So I would like to start as young as 7 and go up to 18. And like each little camp group is like divided into groups by age range.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. Okay. So, do you know that when you're 8, your cognitive mind forms like your frontal lobe, and that's why that happens?
No, I didn't know that.
So that was just, you knew that, right? So I knew that textbook, but you knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So good on you. So, trust your knowing.
Okay.
And so I'm going to just kind of jam on this. I like to see your vision with you because in the world of energy, so like as a shaman, this is my shaman hat now, you can go into that future reality and check it out and then kind of track back. And so for you who likes planning, picture like a grid and you can like kind of go forward and feel it all out and plan it all out to the best of your ability and then kind of go backwards and then be like, what's the thing today that's going to bring me to that? And so you're not freaked out about all of the little steps because on some level you're tuning in to it already existing. Can you get on board with that? Is that like mind bending or is that normal for you?
That makes sense. I do try to do that, but sometimes my head is really noisy.
Yeah,
Not able to do it as effectively as I would like.
Yeah. So the noise is just the fear. And it's actually, if you could picture the noise is actually your past spilling over into your vision creation.
Okay.
It's like spilling over. It's like who you used to be trying to pull you back to that because that's more comfortable to your mind. And then here you are creating who you're going to be. And that is new. And so it kind of spills over and it wants to stop you. And so, yeah, so expect that. Expect backlash. As you
Okay.
get into your power, there's going to be, actually, interestingly enough, I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I created a program specifically for the backlash of stepping into your power called Tele. Because for me, when I'd step up into my own talent or intellect or showing up, there was always a backlash. There's like people criticizing you or people like, just weird stuff, just even random stuff, like stuff that's trying to stop you. And that's your own fear of who you used to be spilling over into the now, right? Because then if you change who you are now, you're going to create who you are in the future.
Yes.
So you don't have to always worry so much about that spilling over because you just got to focus on what do I need to do now?
Okay.
In front of me now. And that answer might be write it all out. That answer might be go take a luxurious bubble bath. Because women have this ridiculous, amazing feminine energy and it's fed by pleasure and it's fed by fun and it's fed. And this is going to be amazing for you to teach these girls to do that without any vanity and to do that without any selfishness. It's wholeness, right?
Yeah, but it's a bad thing. But somewhere along the line, we're taught that if we do things that make us feel too good all the time, then we're selfish. It's not fair to other people. And that's ridiculous to me. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I love that you're doing this because you're hearing a call and you're hearing a specific audience that needs you. And so from that, I also advise that you don't see it as so big, but you see it as obvious and natural.
Okay.
Like don't see it as this big thing. It is big. It is significant. It is great, but it's also just who you are. So it's like, you just have this expectation it's going to work out. Like, of course it's going to work out. This has to happen. Like, because I have this vision, I know I will have the steps when I need to know them. And this is faith in the making. I know I will have the steps when I need to have them.
Okay.
Because if I just gave you a manual on how to build a house, how do you think that would go?
Oh gosh, that would be overwhelming, and I probably procrastinate a lot, talk myself out of doing certain things. So yeah, that makes sense.
Is that what you're doing right now?
I see. I read your question.
Because it seems, like you said, it's a big thing, and I feel like it's so big. It's like, well, how do I start with it?
You ask, what's my next step?
Okay.
But you also redefine that it's not big, it's normal.
Okay.
Going to the grocery store for you. Like getting to that level of this is who I am. Like I'm going to be speaking on stages. I'm writing a book. So these are things that I don't think it's big and grand and anything. And now it's like, oh, of course I am, because this is what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
When you were talking about the vision, I saw all these picnic tables, and I saw all the different age groups, like the little kids were hand painting and the older girls were doing necklaces, and I saw the moms and the kids getting along. And I think if you can vision that kind of outcome, it takes the stress off of you, because it's like, look at, man, they're having so much fun together. This is a good memory. So try to visualize that. She's really been moving quickly. She's been showing up for all of these and taking advantage of being able to talk to an expert. Yeah. Can I give you a question from the live stream?
Yeah.
So Miria wanted to know, how do you stop all that noise that are coming from people around you? They think you're cuckoo. I know, honey, I read it wrong. I thought you were talking about us and the noise. So she says, how do you stop all that madness of people? And we've all gone through this. If you're spiritual at all, I can tell you when feng shui came to America and people are like, what? Oh, yeah, right. I moved my furniture and changed my life. And it's like, well, it actually works. So how do you stand in that power and not let it get into your mind? Because we know sabotage. You can get 1,000 compliments and that one person says something to you and it makes you feel bad. And what do you think about? You think about the one person who made you feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really comes down to if you are not firm in your own rooting, if you are not feeding yourself, as far as like you're very susceptible to outside noise when you don't have a firm rooting. And when I say firm rooting, that means like some sense of I'm not what people think of me, and not just as an affirmation. So I'm going to get to a tangible tool, but I just kind of want to talk about this topic so that there's a sense of what I'm speaking to. Because if you are just, let's say with this tree, this is why I called it tall tree coaching. If you're just this tree, right, and you're here and there's wind and there's birds and there's all sorts of stuff, there's like people cutting down branches, and the tree's just there and the tree knows it's there, and it's like the stuff is just around it. And so sometimes like a good thing to do is to kind of picture yourself, or if you're good at visualization, with most, it's kind of a natural instinct for people that are that sensitive, and just see that it, like I was just saying to L'Oreal, what if it wasn't so big? What if it was just noise? What if it was just noise? What if it was just mosquitoes? And to reduce the dial, like you can turn down that noise. And I think it's just a matter of knowing you are that powerful, and not even in an egoic way, but just like, oh, there's someone saying I'm stupid and I shouldn't do that. Don't take it personally.
She says, what about my friends that minimize me? First of all, I wouldn't have friends like that. And second of all, we all know this. And now her sister who's staying with her. So sounds like she's getting bombarded from a couple areas. Thank you for more insight, Miria.
Is she able to come on the call?
If you can jump on over to Zoom, she might be working. You never know. We get
Yeah. No, that's
jump
just
on Zoom. Head over there. Hey, Ronald Headley, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Thanks for popping on, brother.
Well,
love
before I hear back from her, let me just start with that. Okay, so
Okay.
let's get real. Family of origin stuff, which just means the family you came from, is super discombobulating, because what you're dealing with is someone who was there all throughout when you've been developing. So it's very easy to regress. And what it means to regress is to become that age. So it's like you're 8. So like we're talking about with L'Oreal, that 8-year-old in you that had been bullied suddenly is who you are as an adult. It's extremely discombobulating. So that's different, because it's kind of like you're underwater and you're like, whoa, like, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I drinking extra wine suddenly? And why am I, like, you start to do things that maybe you don't normally do, and you're kind of compelled to do them. And these are things that I call actually your survival mechanism. It's who you had to be to survive. And so when it's, first of all, it screams out to me that your relationship with yourself needs to be tended to. So whether that means journaling, doing something nice for yourself, taking yourself on a date. I don't know the practicalities of your life, but these are things that are imperative to, if you are really serious about wanting to fix that, your self relationship is the key. And the voices in your head will be like, well, that's stupid. Don't go to the movies by yourself. Well, when you go to the movies by yourself, because that's a movie you genuinely want to see, that's going to like kind of take the juice out of those thoughts. Because sometimes the person saying you can't do that is actually just mirroring your own fear that I can't do that. And then it's a matter of, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And who are you living your life for? You kind of do a bit of a reality check. Because when you're doing stuff like journaling, it's tangible. You can see how you're writing the same fear every day. You can see how, oh, I want to go to that yoga class. Oh no, I'm too fat for yoga pants. Can't go. Like that stuff, that shit's getting in your way. And then what's the point? It's your life. Like whatever you look like, go to the yoga class if that's what you want to do. If you want to learn how to sing, that's what you need to do. And the act of, and this is what Brenny and I talked in the beginning, the act of actually doing the thing that you think you have no place in doing, same thing with L'Oreal, is taking away the juice from those thoughts having any place in your life. So what will happen is it will get really bad while you're transforming it, almost like it's a boot camp or it's like a video game and you're going through the big boss round. And then you go through it. And then what happens is those people leave, they just fall off, or there's a big breakdown and they fall off. And then now you have a new opening. But can you stand in your own relationship with yourself? Can you know that that's not personal? Like that's just somebody's venom from their own misunderstood self getting on you. I call it getting slimed. It's like if someone's like, oh, you think you're so good? I'm like, not really. But you must be triggered by whatever confidence you see in me. I don't say that to them, but I now know when somebody's triggered by me and I don't take it personally, it stings a little bit sometimes. It's not comfy. We light workers are like, yay, love. But, you know, the world isn't always full of that. Most often, you're going to confront the crap out of the person and then they want to stop you from being that beaming light that's showing them themselves. So most of their commentary is their own discomfort with themselves. Because if you're showing up with light, they can see themselves better and they're not liking it.
So she can't jump on because her laptop isn't working, but she says her hardest is that her sister, and it goes back to when they're 9 to 12, of things she probably doesn't even realize she does.
Right.
Is constant.
Somebody named Josette just came on.
Yep, Josette's one of the speakers supporting you in a teleart gathering. Josette Diaz. She's on later today. Okay, so how do you go back, and you can't change others, so how can she deal? Obviously, I have this with my sister too, so even though you're an empath, even though you're a spiritual being, family can get to you, okay? And there's lessons to be learned in it, and it's what you do. Like, I cut cords, and I don't feed into the madness. It's like, that's your bubble. You can, play with what you want, but I feed myself. But living with somebody, and I know how they can be button pushers. And if it goes all the way back to 9 and 12, maybe let's talk about that. She has a beautiful young daughter of her own, you know, so she's, I'm going to say in her late 20s, don't be offended if I'm incorrect, is constant. Comments are going into my daughter. Okay, now let's really get into it. So her sister's living with her. They've had this conflict, and now her beautiful daughter, who is a great manifester. I'm telling you, this girl is really connected to her higher self. And now these comments are starting to go into her daughter. Isn't this interesting how L'Oreal is doing the mother-daughter relationship, and now this pops up? Guys, do you see why this is wonderful conversations? This is going to help L'Oreal, and L'Oreal's conversation is going to help Miria, because yep, God bumps all over myself. So take it away. Let's combine this, weave the web.
Okay, so I'm going to divide and conquer, and I'm going to say one thing about empaths as general, and then I'm going to talk about regression. I'm going to talk about the daughter thing. So empaths, here's the thing. We can feel everything, and we are all connected, and you're feeling it all. So sometimes their pain is your pain. And so a lot of that involves getting a little responsible and going into like in the You Are the Manual. Like, I highly encourage L'Oreal, like, and it's a very it's a good price as far as, and I think do I have a payment plan on there? I don't know. I could do.
If not, we can set one up, guys, because I'm the super geek. We can do that like in 5 minutes. That's why comment, please, after this, connect with Jenna, comment out there. I want to throw this in too, and then I'm gonna, stop talking for you, but Miria put a little bit more information. So the comments are going to her daughter is that she's lazy because she's having issues with math. I can tell you not everyone is great at math. I'm great at math, but not everyone is. So she's concerned about now all this negativity being put into her daughter, and especially with something like math.
What's she good at?
What is your daughter good at? I know what she's good at, but why don't you go ahead and type it in here, because...
While she does that, I'm going to just go into the empath.
Right. Okay. So you take it away, and I'm going to...
The universe wants you to be whole and complete and enjoy your life, okay? Like, it doesn't create things to be like, let's see how we could fuck this thing up and how crappy their life can be. That's, to me, doesn't make sense. To me, it's all about, that's stupid. So, if I am here because I'm an extension of God, creator, and I am also Jenna and this like kind of new version, like I'll never be another Jenna again. Okay. So if we're going to go with that belief system, the universe wants you to get whole and complete. So it will create circumstances. That's why I call You Are the Manual, life is the teacher is the second part. You will continue to get trials in your life. And good at writing and arts. Okay, right. You will continue to get trials in your life to force you to shift to become whole. Okay, so it's not a punishment. It isn't life being mean to you. It's an invitation to heal that part that hasn't been healed. And if you don't get overwhelmed by that and just like, oh, okay, I have something I need to heal, trust that, like with L'Oreal, what you need to know when you need to know it will reveal itself to you. And you have to own that. You have to own that you will know what you need to know. And not be like, oh, never getting better, blah, blah, blah. Like, sometimes we have really down days and we can't get ourselves back up, but try your best to just get back up. What can I do now? Get back up. What can I do now? Oh, okay, I need to do this. Or if you're feeling called to do You're the Manual, if you're feeling called to listen to all the free tracks on Brenny's thing, that's just certain things. So, okay. Now back to your daughter. First of all, this is happening to your daughter for you to heal, because you're witnessing your own wounding and you need to come to some sort of conclusion. What's her name? Who I'm talking to?
Miria. That's powerful what you just said. The big aha right there. She's witnessing because her daughter's around the same age. This is some powerful stuff, guys. Take notes.
Yeah. So let's like assume that the intelligence of life is really super smart and has figured out that you deserve to get over this. You deserve to not have this burden and untrue suitcases of crap that you've been carrying with you. Life wants to take it off of you. And are you going to take that invitation and observe where your wounds are? And what do you feel sensitive about when you're hearing it to your daughter because you love her unconditionally? How can you be that for yourself? So that's the invitation, is that you're actually going into an opportunity to heal something that's been in your life for so long. And again, pen to paper or work with a healer or whatnot, because there's a bunch of us on here. There's 2 free Q&A calls on the program that you get. So that type of thing. But this is your opportunity to heal that core wound. And those core wounds are going to keep coming up and you're going to feel just as strong. You can't put them under a rug. They're not some small thing. So the lazy thing. So let's talk about geniuses. To me, I'm just like, oh, what a silly person to think that it's lazy to be bad at math. And not in an aggressive way, but like, that's very silly because I'm not that great at math and I don't care. Does that make me lazy? No, I'm a genius at human development and behavior and energy and speaking and encouraging people and healing people. I'll take it. So if you don't own who you are, you're going to be susceptible to people's opinions of you. So, oh, you're lazy. I used to be insecure about like, I have my own rhythm with life and I have my own way of doing things. And I used to think, oh, there's this corporate way and people that get things right and people that have little, labels for things. And I'm not that. So I'm less than. And what I've learned is I now have actually labels on some things. So I've integrated things that work for me. But I got over the story that I'm less than because I was raised in a middle-class home and there might be some really wealthy people, or I'm not less than. So all of these are opportunities to come into wholeness with who you are. And which, if you're a writer, why would the universe give you irrational math skills that don't add anything to your life? Like, there are people that are just genius at a bunch of things, but often if you are tuned for something, if you are here to be a genius at one thing, that makes sense that all of your energy should go into that thing. So why would it matter that I don't want to be an accountant when I'm supposed to be doing this? It's actually more, makes more sense to me that that's how life works. So at first it's an invitation for you to heal your wound with your sister. I have wounds with my brother. And that if they come up again, like they are really big and it's just like, okay, what's true for me? What do I need to learn here? How can I see this differently? What gift is there in that wound? What medicine is in the wound? That kind of thing. Does she have any questions after that? Is she in chat?
No, she's just feeling really sad because it's hard to see her daughter be treated this way. But it's really, Amelia, about what she's saying, it's about you healing too. And when you heal and you stand behind your daughter and you are a powerful mother. This little girl is so creative. If you could see her artwork, she manifests like we all should be manifesting. So
her sister's confronted by her and you. Her sister can't be that. So she wants to annihilate the existence of you because it makes you uncomfortable.
I have found that you get attacked when you stand in your power because people feel that. They feel your strength and they see. How does she put a stop to it for her? She's concerned. We understand you got to work on yourself though too, right, sister? Stand in your power? Yeah.
How does she, okay, wait a second. I want to reiterate that it isn't about you stepping into your power. It's about who you show up as is directly confronting her. As far as if you are creative and she's not, she's insecure about that. And then she's making it seem like you suck because you're not good at math or whatever the languaging is. So just know that this person is insecure and trying to bring you down. Oh, hello, new person.
I'm just so hearing the words of my dad. This is my house, and if you don't like it, you can move. Because her sister's staying at her house, and it's like, I'm gonna.
Yes, but this is the invitation for wholeness. So once you resolve this, things will start to shift on their own. And I've done this with, again, hundreds of people, and I can tell you that you can't plan it, and it's going to happen in such a better way. So either she'll shift, your shift, you'll be able to handle her. But the sadness. So let's talk about sadness, okay? I'm going to do some heart breathing with you. So all this is you put your hand on your heart center, okay? And this is one of the tools in the You Are the Manual program in the heart section, in emotions and heart. And so what I'm going to invite you to do, Miria, is help your heart heal. We do not heal in our head. We heal in our body, and we specifically heal in the energetic center of that heart, but we heal in our energy in our body. It is not up here. You will not get there from here. And that is just such a big thing for people to get, because if you're going back and forth and trying to figure out, that is an emotional healing. If you're wondering, I've done, hundreds of hours of therapy, and why do I keep crying about the same thing? Because you never processed it in your body. So we're going to put our hand on our heart. We're just going to do some breathing, and I'm going to talk you through this very short tuning in body emotional processing tool that anyone can do. So I just want you to breathe and allow yourself to bring your attention to the physical feeling of your hand on your heart center there, the space between your breastbone there, and to feel physically, feel your hand there first, and then allow, almost like you're turning a sand timer over, all that energy in your head to just trickle down like a sand timer. Naturally, no pressure, just redistribute the energy that's all in your head down to balance out in your whole body. And feel the space under your hand. And feel your breath. And this is the thing, you can have your mind be like blah, 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 and still feel the space under your hand. You're a multidimensional being. You can feel and have those tabs open, so to speak. It's like you're a news station, and there's blah, 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 and there's news, and there's pictures, and there's this. And so your mind can be doing that, and you're the TV, and you're the broadcaster, and you're the room that's holding the TV. So when we go beyond the mind, which is what we're doing now, tuning into our body, I can be aware of my heart center right now, and aware of this computer in front of me, and aware of body sensations. There's a slight tension in the back of my head. I don't need to fix it. I don't need to know where it came from. I don't need to know what I need to do about it. I'm just going to notice it. Okay, there's that there. And then feeling the space under your hand. And emotions are intelligence as well. They're tools, they're information. They're not always comfortable, but they're not bad. So it isn't bad to feel sad. It's human. And so we're just going to feel the space under our heart. And if you're feeling physical sensations, welcome them like you're welcoming a guest into your house that you like. And just allow whatever sensations, again, keep allowing that energy from your mind to keep redistributing down into your body. So you're feeling the space under your hand, being aware, almost like your eyes are looking out from your chest. You're so present to this space. And then physically feeling that breath naturally happening for you. And just give over to the idea that if your breath can breathe for you and your cells can divide for you, your body can heal your pain. Your body can heal your emotional pain. Can you surrender your mind over to that idea and let your body take it over and let your heart heal you? That's what it's here to do. It's like a laundry machine. You push it, it goes on, it cleans it for you. So this is this emotional, and you can almost even picture a laundry center there, which actually works. And that you press the button, and that's what just putting your hand on your heart is I am now connected, and I am feeling the space of my intelligence system. I'm giving it space and permission to do its thing. What it's here to do is to heal you, is to process this for you. And if it's really old, it'll happen in waves. So now I kind of like did a burpee, like not quite burped, but that was energy moving. If you want to yawn, if you need to sigh, so just continue to watch and allow and notice, as opposed to fix and contract and figure out and understand and wonder why and wonder how. You can see the difference? And again, like with L'Oreal, we're building trust. Can I trust my body to heal this pain? And play with that. Can you trust your body to take its next breath? I'm going to. Okay, so that's an example of an emotional healing tool that is extremely easy and simple, highly profound. It might bring up a lot of stuff for people. However, it is that simple, that your heart center and your body processes emotional energy. And it's our mind that comes in and goes, that's too scary. That's too much pain. Nope, nope, nope. And what we need to do is just kind of massage that relationship between our mind and our body and our heart in order to realign to our natural ability to emotionally heal. And so a lot of empaths out there have to do their emotional healing in their body, because a lot of that stuff that they're feeling is their own stuff too. And it's an invitation to clear it, because once you clear more, I'm an empath too, I can distinguish. Ooh, okay, I do have some grief in me, but this person's really in grief. And I can distinguish my pain from their pain only because I've experimented and developed a relationship with my pain. So that's the unsexy answer to working with yourself as an empath, and what there is to do and how you can feel free in the world and not feel so bombarded by other people's energies. But I just want to check in how that was for people, the heart breathing. Did they notice anything?
Good question. She says, yes, can I teach this with my girl, with her daughter? Because, that is a really great question, because a lot of people they go into a fear of introducing young kids to things, and they are naturally going to do it. L'Oreal says she feels lighter, and thank you. So Miria, she felt her heart expand. That's good. That's what it's all about, man. Awesome. So Miria, I see she shows up too. I want to thank the listeners that show up live. You get live coaching and training. My girl is dealing with the loss of dad. So they've got a lot going on right now. Can you give her one thing she can do to help her daughter? Her daughter is this big, bright light of creativity and flow. She's really connected to her higher self. She's the cutest thing, and her energy is so good. And her attitude really is like about manifestation. Like I said, she's really good. Is how you wouldn't know how to manifest. So we want to keep her in this I love myself mode.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like she's got some loss going on. So we know her heart hurts. And then now she's getting picked at by her aunt.
She's in her 20s?
Well, Miria is, but her daughter is, what's your daughter, 8 or 9?
Miria's in her 20s.
She's constantly asking me if I love her, which her mom and her are 2 peas in a pod. So there's some other stuff going on. Guys, I really, if you can answer it shortly, otherwise I have the next speakers are coming up, and we got to get on that call. Oh, Miria, you are not 43. Holy buckets dry. I'm like, that was a great offense. I thought she's like in her late 20s. You're hot. Her daughter's 9, which is the age her sister picked on her.
Oh, that's not an accident. Okay. My dad committed suicide, so I totally get the dad gone. It's a very specific pain. And for someone so young, my best advice is to teach her how to feel sadness. And maybe that means you have to do it first. But
oh, that's really good. That's good, because we bottle things up, especially in America. They just take a pill. Everybody's on, I have anxiety, and then they can't get off the pills. I can say that from many people I know.
So let me pop in just with some tools. So I would draw it out, dance it out. Like, what's a really sad song, and like dance it out with her. And this will be good for you. And don't be afraid to show your sadness. And this will be so healing and so amazing. And L'Oreal, do this at your thing. What would sadness look like if it was a painting? What would sadness look like if it could dance? What would grief feel like if I moved? And it's going to encourage the energies to actually move. And when you embrace them, they embrace you, and there isn't this fight. And that's the pain of emotional pain. It's the fight. That'll be great. Teaching her how to feel sadness.
Awesome. Smiley faces. So guys, go out and grab her thank you gift and go look at that special offer. This is how you work with people in a casual environment, but one-on-one, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I offered 2 Q&A calls. So anyone who buys the program, you'll have all the recordings, 5 90-minute recordings of the You Are the Manual program, Mind, Body, Heart, Spirit, and Integration. And
yeah, so guys, that's for you busy people that are moms that do watch things when the kids go to bed. So
recording, so it'll be good. And then there'll be 2 Q&A calls 3 weeks after, so that you would have had some time to listen to some of it, and then we'll do this kind of stuff with the group. So you'll get like live, individualized work with all of the kind of stuff we did today.
awesome. So thank you very much. I got a smiley face. So guys, here you can take a screenshot, teleartgathering.com/Jenna, Jenna. You can head over to the Facebook page and make comments where we keep an eye on that. All the speakers, including Jenna, we really want to help you, you know, and she will answer if it's right for you to get in her program, facebook.com/teleartgathering. That's where you can go and find when we do these random Q&As that pop up. You guys keep coming with questions, then I put the speakers in front of you and you answer them. You are amazing. No, you're amazing. I'm amazing. Jenna's amazing. We're all amazing. But thank you. Blessings to you, Jenna. Blessings, Miria says. I'm going to stop the Facebook Live because I can only do one thing at a time. Guys, we're going to be coming back on with Bossy, the intuitive artist, and Josette. And they've got some fun stuff planned, so make sure to pop back on the live stream. And those of you that want, you can just head on over to the Zoom link, and we'll end the recording there, and then we'll start up with the next one. Thanks for showing up, guys.
Bye.
It takes a minute to get them going, girl, but then you can see they're really having fun.
Yeah.
Thanks